You're not gonna eat the strawberries? Okay, I'm gonna interview you.
What are you interviewing me about?
Whatever comes to mind, I suppose. All right, so I am going to be doing some interviews. Stop laughing in my face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm laughing away from your face.
I'm gonna be doing some interviews.
Of?
I told Ben Turn I was gonna interview him.
Oh, how did he respond to that?
You know, he loves being on the camera so much.
Super pumped.
But I asked him if he'd be willing to be interviewed for a video, and he said yes. So he said to write the questions down. So
Okay.
yeah, he's got to prepare. But so I'm
Why
gonna.
didn't I get that chance?
You know, I don't even know what I'm gonna.
I'm
ask
better
him.
on the fly anyway.
Yeah. So I'm gonna interview Miah a little bit. As we've been talking to our viewers about how we're kind of shifting gears because we know we're moving by the end of this year. And we've been kind of behind the scenes, nailing some things down and waiting for some moving parts to come into place. And now we're really jumping into the growing season, but knowing that in the back of our mind. I just want to ask a couple of questions about that.
Okay.
What did we do here that you will automatically do differently at a new farm?
First thing would probably be plant the perennial stuff first.
Okay. We didn't do that here.
Get everything like that needs time to establish to produce in, and then let the fast stuff come in later.
It's a good plan.
I think so. Build quality fences first.
Right. We didn't do that last time. We tried to cut corners on fences and ended up having to redo them. Anything else?
Yeah. I'm not going to overtax the property with too many animals.
Yes.
That was a huge thing we did here.
That was the thing that I was thinking the most about, because when we got here, we didn't know anything about regenerative agriculture and pasturing and soil building, and we just...
And honestly, a lot of the people that we were even learning from operated on smaller type infrastructure, so we just kind of like, that's what we learned. Like, you can do it, it's just not the best way to do it, in our opinion.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't want to have to be like relying on, we got to supplement hay because we don't have enough field, or because, you know, it increases your worm load, especially in this climate. And there's all the things that we've learned that, okay, too much of this is not good. You know, where if you don't have enough space for the pigs, they literally just eat everything down and nothing grows. Right. Like, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, definitely. I'm thinking of the next question. You can tell I was really prepared for this.
Yeah. Have you ever interviewed me ever before? I don't even think you interviewed me before we're getting married. You just saw that hunk of a man.
Oh my God.
And you just freaking jumped in.
I'm done with you.
Marry me. Farm man.
Is that how you're farm man?
You saw in the future. Right?
IT guy.
You saw my potential.
Oh my gosh, is that how you remember that going? I mean... Okay.
Question number 2.
Question number 2. What is it, like, okay, I guess I should give some background to them for this question. So, this whole thing here was, like, my dream. Like, I wanted a little farm, a house in the country, I wanted gardens. This is infinitely more than the dream that I originally had. But I never really envisioned, like, a bigger farm. That wasn't really it. Now, I never envisioned us to do it like we are, like as a team and teaching it and all of that stuff. But like, I just really kind of pictured like just a, you know, simple life in the country. And this has so far surpassed that. It's still a beautiful life with so much simplicity and so much peace and joy. But right now, we are kind of moving into something that is merging my dream to Jeremiah's dream, which was to build his own home. And as we've been farming, he's really had this dream of like building a farm from scratch. And so a lot of people have been like, are you going to try to find a place that has infrastructure? What's your plan? Really, what we're really looking for.
Being needy.
He is being really
Lay down.
lovey. Lay down, baby. Now, what is it about building a farm from scratch that really appeals to you? Like, what is it about that makes it your dream? Is that a question that can make sense to you? Jeremiah and I have very different operating brains. Sometimes I ask questions, he's like, I have no idea what you're asking her. Like, does that make sense, or do I need to clarify?
What? Say it again.
Okay. Like, when you think of building a farm from scratch, building a home and building a farm from scratch and going onto essentially raw land and doing that without having someone else's beginning of infrastructure or remodeling a house. Like, what is it about that process that is, like, most appealing to you?
As I do things, like, I figure out what I like and I don't like. How I would like, and I kind of feel like I put a lot of thought into details that other people may not put thought into. Like, just small thing that comes to mind, like, you know, placement of receptacles. What kind of receptacle? The convenience of, like, in, like, layout and all that stuff. And for me, the farm is like that idea is like a blank canvas rather than coming in and, you know, be like,
working around what someone else did.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have, what's that painter guy's name? Ross? Bob Ross. Yeah. It'd be like if you were like, he painted like a third of the picture and you had to come in and like finish it. You could, you know what I'm saying, as an artist.
Well, if you had something, you could make it happy little mistake.
Right. Which we did, a lot of that. Like this farm is actually a Bob Ross inspired farm. Just happy little mistakes accidentally working out as we learn. I mean, true.
It really is.
But I think with I feel ready to graduate into something bigger.
Yeah.
Like, I don't necessarily think it's the best idea to just jump into big operations without having some kind of experience. Like,
this was a great classroom.
This was a great classroom. I think, you know, even all the studying you did at our neighborhood house was a great start. Like, and then things happen for a reason and things progress in phases on purpose. Yeah. So for me moving forward, it's like I see like a picture of layout, the type of house, how the property flows, you know, driveways, gates, pastures, you know, things like of that nature. And when you get into a property that doesn't really fit that, you kind of just make do. And I feel like we've done really good with this property, but it was never like, oh, this is the perfect property.
Well, I feel like one thing that should be said that I think clarifies some things, like, we started here and we weren't 100% sure how long we would be here. Like, there was this dream in our heart.
For the first, like 4 years, we thought this was it. We'll stay here.
But I don't think that was necessarily because this was the fulfillment of what we wanted. I think that it was the maximum that we could envision being able to have.
Yes, and I still felt extremely blessed to have it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it was like a dream come true. And although it would be like, well, if we could, we would like a more sustainable place. If we could, there are these things that we would like to have maybe someday, but it was not ever anything that ever felt feasible. But in 2018 is when we started posting on YouTube really regularly. And by the end of that year, our channel had grown to about 30,000 subscribers, 30 or 40, I guess. It was something around there. And it began growing really quickly after that. And I remember us having the conversation where we had talked about some different things and we had talked about some places we were really feeling like lead in our heart. But I remember having the conversation, no matter what we end up doing, if we keep on this path with YouTube, we can't stay here.
Yeah, I know, it's true.
Because we're right by the street, our house is easy to find, people find it all the time. And at some point it was like privacy is going to become an issue. And so
there's a whole level of what we want to do that we can't learn here.
Right. And that's the other thing.
That's a big factor.
Like, there's a massive amount of sustainability we would like to achieve and more things we'd like to learn that we can't apply here. So yeah. I definitely agree that we're going to have to do something bigger.
It's been a few years since we just made that decision, and it's also been very growing to not rush that process.
Oh, for sure.
I think learning the mistakes that for rushing the farm has taught us to, we made the decision a while ago that we weren't going to stay here, and then have walked that out slowly.
Yeah. So what are you going to do different? What appeals to you about that process? Like, what single thing are you most looking forward to?
My shop.
You answered that so fast. You were like, there it is. Your shop. So having like a workshop.
I want a workshop that is you've seen my trailer and how I'm like detailing it and like that kind of, everything has a place and flow. Like, I want a shop like that, but I mean, I want to learn how to weld.
Yeah.
And I want space to do it. I want to be able to build stuff inside and not have to worry about like moving everything back and forth in and out of the rain. Like, that's how I've always had to build things.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. I want a 3D printer.
Yeah.
I want to be able to fabricate. I want a CNC machine. Like, I want to be a creator with my hands.
That's so
Get
cool.
into epoxy, have my mill up my own wood.
Yeah.
Like,
build stuff.
It's like a real life master builder.
Like Legos.
But like real life.
That's great.
I'll still build Legos.
I'm excited for your workshop as well. All right, so we know what we're looking forward to. What are you going to miss about this farm? This piece of land and what we've done here? Like, when we leave and this isn't our home anymore.
Being a finisher, someone who likes to finish things, like, I always hate when things are finished. Even though I've liked to finish them.
I'm like, example, what?
Because it's over. And you pack up and you move on. Like, finishing a job. Be like, this was a lot of fun. Like, all the details are done. Load the tools up and go. The memories, I guess. There's like landmark areas on our property that whenever you walk by them, it brings back Benjamin and Ezra and Toby and Jackson and Asher and Melania being little and us starting this out, and
your mom being here.
Yeah, this would be the last place that my mom ever gardened.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be extremely bittersweet. I'm actually
not really dealing with it.
I was about to say, I'm dealing with it now.
I won't. I'll deal with it
later.
Know
you're going to have to at some point, though.
Yeah, but I'll wait until, like, we're doing the new stuff, so I have something to kind of, like, ease the blow.
You're really not dealing with it now?
Yeah, I'm military. Dealing with it hard. I'm military trained. I will literally just box that up for a while. It'll be fine. It will be fine. No, I'll be fine. I will be sad. There are things that I'll miss, like...
It's bittersweet. Like, there's definitely sadness, but there's so much excitement, too.
I could, like, redo things. Like, I'll build more stuff. There'll be more stuff to build, and it'll be special stuff, but, like... Will there ever be another window greenhouse like that? Like, it won't be it'll be different.
No, it'll be different.
But it won't be that. So, like, leaving the pavilion, like, leaving the first garden that we ever, like, really made together. It's looking freaking killer right now. And we've invested so much. And I'm like, even looking, like, right now, looking at the greenhouse through the arch with the roses coming up and the blackberries on the fence, I'm thinking, maybe we should stay there.
Every time I think that, like, and I do think that regularly, I'll think, like, maybe, and then it's just like that unsettled feeling of, like, no, that's not what we're supposed to do.
I know, but...
And we go back, like, now we're very settled. I mean, like, we know, what we're doing is the right thing. We've, like, put things in motion. We feel peace about it. But, man, sometimes when you're having to give up something for something else... It's like there's this leap of faith, really, to say, like, okay, this isn't the best I'll ever have.
Boil it all down. It comes down to that little cliche meme you see floating around Facebook, like, moms send it to their kids, adult moms send it to their adult kids. With the little girl and the teddy bear? The little girl and the teddy bear.
Like Jesus has this big bear behind his back.
He's like, can you hand me this little teddy bear? And I got this big teddy bear. That's literally what we're walking in.
Yeah, I know. I love this teddy bear, though.
Mm-hmm. I know, that's the point.
I know. You love this teddy bear?
Mm. That's what you should name the video. I love this teddy bear.
Also true. Alright, so last question. For the person who's watching, whether they are working on a place they've been working on, whether they're in transition, whether they're waiting, whether they're breaking ground on their forever, what's your one piece of advice for the homesteader?
That's a really hard question to answer. One piece of advice. This is one of those questions that I'm like, I don't understand the question.
Really?
One piece of advice pertaining to what? See, like I already have to categorize it. Like pertaining to homesteading, pertaining to property.
Just whatever comes in your heart.
Whatever comes to my heart.
You don't answer questions like that.
Pat, what's my one piece of advice for the homesteader in any
given
level?
stage? Broad. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't need you to give me the answer.
I didn't say it.
You were trying to think of something you can hint to help me get the answer. I can feel it. I can feel it. That's feeding me the line. That doesn't work.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I'm just drinking my tea. I never do that. I never do what you say.
Okay. It's okay to quit something.
That's a good piece of advice.
That works in any capacity for anybody at any level. You get into something, you think it's going to go a certain way, you think you might like it, and then I have had too many conversations and have been in this position myself. You just stick with something because you started it and you don't want to give up on it and feel like a failure and all that. It's okay to quit. It's okay to be like, you know what, rabbits aren't for me. You know
that's
what?
like one example. That's exactly the example I was thinking of. So many people are like, when are you going to do rabbits? I'm like, we did rabbits. We didn't really like raising rabbits. But, you got to try like this. But like, man, right now, mostly we just feel pretty confident with that we don't want to. But it's
okay to accept for other people
do rabbits.
Yeah,
and
I'm
that's
not
fine.
saying like, oh my gosh,
but we
I
just
can't
decided,
believe you do
no,
rabbits.
we don't want to do that. Yeah. At least not right now or anytime in the foreseeable future. And we quit doing it.
I'm gonna say we may not ever do rabbits ever again.
And that's just one example. That's
but I'm saying,
practical thing.
That's just for us. But it's okay to quit something.
Yeah.
It's okay that if you get in over your head or you planted too much, plant less, or let it go to weeds and try again.
Yeah.
It's okay to quit something if that's what you need to do. Sometimes quitting something is the healthiest thing you can do.
Yeah, that's a good piece of advice. Well done. See, I knew you had it in you. Well, thank you, sir, for being the guest.
Thank you for feeding it to me.
I did not! You don't even take credit for your own stuff.
Yeah, it was my advice. I'm just saying. I felt inspired by it.
By Miah.
Miah. Bye.
Thank you for being the guest on the
What is
Jessica garden interview show.
Who else are you interviewing?
Well, you're the first guest.
Okay.
Maybe Bear's
Is
next.
someone else going to come out and sit next to me like on Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah, there's Bear. He's going to come out.
Ben turn?
I told it, if Ben turn, I'm going to
Who
interview
else?
him. I don't know yet. I'm just interviewing folks when I feel like it. I can do what I want. It's my show.
Folks, huh? You got a lot of folks lined up?
Listen, don't mess with me.
Did they ride here on their lawnmower?
Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. We bless you. Until next time.
Until next time.